You're listening to the Selador Sessions, purveyors of the nocturnal noise.
Hi everybody, this is Steve Parry and welcome along to the Selador Sessions. Tonight we fly over to Florida and bringing you the sounds of Miami, courtesy of one of the original Floridian scene DJs who actually gave Dave Seaman his first residency back in Miami in 1998, and they've remained good friends ever since. He continues being one of the kingpins of the Miami Music Week and recently held parties with Defected, Glitterbox, Hot Since 82, Danny Tenaglia, Moody Man, Jazzy Jeff and a whole host more. This week as well he has his own release on Selador Recordings and appears exclusively in the mix. Please welcome back the one and only Jonathan Cowan to the Selador Sessions.
In the mix exclusively each and every week. This is the Selador Sessions.
como se não existisse um fim. Como se não existisse
Selador Sessions, and we're checking out Jonathan Cowan in the mix.
In the mix exclusively each and every week, this is the Selador Sessions.
You go out every night trying to find the perfect love. You lost the faith in yourself. You're falling down in loneliness. The world is full of magic, can't you see? I'm your guardian angel, trust in me. So many times I've been watching you, and now I'm fell in love with you. So many times ticket to my destiny. I'm thinking about you all the time. When I keep my love to you, that's a crime. So many times I've been watching you, and now I fell in love with you. Sometimes I'm watching you, and now I fell in love with you. So many times, so many times, so many times I'm watching you, and now I fell in love with you. So many times, so many times, so many times I'm watching you, and now I fell in love with you. So many times, so many times.
Selador Sessions, your weekly dose of the finest in contemporary club music.
Thing. Yes, it is.
In the mix for the Selador sessions, it's Jonathan Cowan.
hatred. We're all dancing on the thin line, but they're making out we're having a good time. So who's gonna give us the answer? Sister and brother, give it to light, give it to love. Maybe there's enough for everyone. People, hold on.
been listening to some classic house party vibes from the one and only Jonathan Cowan. Thank you, Mr. Cowan. As we mentioned earlier, he's got a brand new release out on Selador this week, a double A side with the tracks Sawyer and Slater, the former being something you've just heard in the mix. Do go and check it out. It's an absolute cracker. But that's it for now. We'll be back same time, same place next week. Thank you for listening. Toodle pip.
You're listening to the Selador Sessions, purveyors of the nocturnal noise.